Hello, everyone. It is Anna Runyon from Classy Career Girl, and I am super excited today to introduce you to another one of our amazing certified career coaches in our career coaching certification program who is getting ready to graduate here soon next month. So everyone, big welcome to Brie Johnson. Welcome, Brie. Thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody.
Hi. So I'm excited because when we first talked, you were already doing some coaching. You already had experience as a career coach. So tell me a little bit more about your background, your business journey,
Sure.
kind of like where you were when we first met back in March.
So when we first met, I had been spending some time with clients, helping them in their job search process. So kind of figuring out, okay, I know I need to update my resume, but how do I even do that? You know, it's been years since I've done it, or I don't know how it's supposed to look and feel, helping people get prepped for interviews, because sometimes that first interview that you go on is really nerve-wracking. So I love doing like a practice interview so that your first interview is with me, so that it's not as scary. And going through all of that, I love the moments where somebody suddenly gains confidence and you see them like sit up a little straighter, or they start to talk about their experience in a way where you can see that they're suddenly excited about not only what they've done, but where they're going to go next. And I knew that there had to be a better, more consistent, more cohesive way to walk people through that process. And that was something that was really appealing to me about the different trainings and the different resources that we have in the certification program. And prior to launching my business, I actually spent 15 years in human resources. So doing all of the things for the employee-employer relationship, from hiring to onboarding and training and professional development plans, and working through any sort of transition if someone was leaving the company. So having had that experience, it really helped me understand, from that hiring manager, from that corporate perspective, what you need to have and what it is that helps you stand out as a candidate.
Mm-hmm. And I love your passion, because even like as we're starting and talking right now, you can just really tell. And that's what I remember about you in March too. It's like in our first call, you were so passionate about career coaching, but you really wanted to help more people. I think that was the biggest thing as well too. So tell me a little bit about your family, where you live, just, kind of what kind of coaching you were doing when you first started.
So I am just north of Indianapolis in Indiana, so in one of the suburbs of the city. And my husband and I both work from home. So right now he knows that I'm recording, so he's in another place because his voice tends to carry, and he's on the phone a lot too. So our kids are in school, like all three of them for the very first time this school year, which is amazing. We have three little boys. They are 4, 5, and 8. And they get to see mommy building her business and daddy working for a very large international company. So they're seeing all kinds of different things. And I love that for them, because they just get to understand all the different options that are out there, and find the thing that works for you, find the thing that is fun. When baby boy number 3 joined the family, that's when we decided it made the most sense for me to take a step back from my corporate role. I had never actually thought or like envisioned myself as an entrepreneur, but that just felt like the right thing to do for our family. And our oldest son has a very rare genetic diagnosis. He is actually one of, to the best of our knowledge, only 300 people on the planet that share his diagnosis. So lots of time in doctor's offices for us, lots of coordination for him, and the flexibility and the time freedom that comes with running my own business, being my own boss, has just opened up so many doors for us as a family to do things, try things, experience things together, and make sure that everybody is getting the support that they need.
Definitely. And it comes with some challenges too, as far as building a business at home with the family too. So tell me more about some of those problems you were looking to solve when you first started the program.
One of the things that I love, and I was very good doing this for myself as an employee, is setting up a structure. That's one of the nice things about HR. It's fairly predictable. There's kind of a regular cadence to things. There's a pattern that each year follows. So things like that are pretty predictable, and I love that. Um, I was not great stepping into my own business at setting that kind of pattern for myself. Like whenever people will ask an entrepreneur like, "Oh, what does your ideal day look like?" I'd be like, "I don't know." Because when I would sit down to write it out, I'd be like, "But I don't want to do that every single day." So it was really getting that focus and saying, okay, these are my non-negotiable times when I'm going to be working on client work, when I'm going to be working on the back end side of the business and growing myself and continuing to learn, because that's something I love doing. I love learning new things, finding new ways to support the people that I get to serve, and really building that in to the schedule and trying to explain to the boys, like, now is not the time when mommy can be the pterodactyl in the dinosaur game. I'm going to need you to give me 30 minutes and then I'll be able to do that. So, really balancing that time was the biggest thing for me. And I regularly would find myself in a position where I'd say, okay, I'm going to do that next time, or I'm going to do that later. And things just kept getting pushed off, and things that I wanted to do that I was excited about. So being able to better manage that and set those expectations for myself, and realizing that, part of why I left the corporate world was because the 40-hour work week didn't work for me. And I don't have to be anywhere close to that in my own business to have the same kind of impact and result.
Yes, I love that. So how did you learn about Classy Career Girl and come into contact with us?
So I have been following Classy Career Girl since, okay, my oldest was born in 2015. So 2014, 2013. So since the very early blog days. So I've been
Yeah, that
on.
was when my first was born in 2014. So
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah, so I've been on the email list forever, and it was one of those things where my husband will regularly tease me that because I love learning and I love structure, if you give me kind of an academic feel to something, like if there's a chance to get a certification, I'm going to be paying more attention. Like the joke is that someday I'm going to wallpaper my office with certifications, and I'm not quite there yet, but I have my eye on some things. But it's this idea of getting the structure and getting the support. And for several of my corporate clients, because in addition to the career coaching, I also do HR consulting. And several of my corporate clients are so supportive of their team. And anytime they would have to eliminate a position, they wanted to be able to offer to the person leaving the company to say, hey, we think you're fantastic. We want to support you. Here's someone that you can work with to help you find that next position. And being able to go to them and say, hey, I have this additional training, this additional certification. So you know that when I say, yes, I can support your team through a difficult time, there's something really solid behind that. And there's something that I think is very comforting. To the person who is receiving those services, to say, it's not just like my company picked a random person off of the internet. Like there's an actual method to this. This person knows what they're talking about. They're really here to support me.
Exactly. So what did you think when you first joined, when you saw kind of the modules and the roadmap for becoming a career coach? What were some of your first actions you took?
I loved it. One of the very first things I did was sit down and go through, I think it was the template with the kind of weekly structure. And that's something that instead of talking about like, what does my ideal day look like? I love the idea of what does my ideal week look like? That works so much better for my world, that it's so manageable that way, and figuring things out. And I just loved going through and hearing the questions that the other women in the program were bringing up, being able to just kind of jump right in and instantly be part of that community. Something that I think we all encounter as entrepreneurs is sometimes it gets lonely and you need somebody to talk to. And even if you are in a position like we're in, where you've got a supportive spouse or partner, you've got supportive friends and family, if they're not also entrepreneurs, they don't completely understand. So having somebody who understands the struggle of, I really need a functional website. I need to, get my practice coaching sessions in, and being able to support each other through those things, that has been absolutely fantastic.
Definitely. Yeah. And what did you have any like doubts, like when you first started, like worries or fears?
I think everybody does at first. There's this worry of, am I really going to be successful doing this? But I think right away, as you start going through the material, you look at what are the areas where I want to specialize, and being able to say very early on, like, this is the thing that I'm really good at. This is the thing that I'm excited about. This is the thing that I want to spend, 20 hours a week focused on. It feels really great. And I think that also gives more of a feel of like collaboration over competition. There's room for all of us. Everybody has something unique and special that they're bringing to the table, that they're able to bring to their clients. And I love with this community being able to say, if someone comes to me and they need something that isn't something where, it's my area of expertise, I have people that I can introduce them to. So even if it's not me directly, I still get a chance to serve and support people.
Yes, definitely. Our community is amazing for sure. And what do you think would have happened, like if you hadn't joined the career coach certification program? Like, where do you think you would be right now, 6 months later?
I would definitely not be as focused as I am. I would not be as confident as I am. Going through those practice coaching sessions was fantastic. That was such a great way to get used to, okay, how do I start these conversations? How do I, direct them in a way that gets us to the answers that the other person needs while not being a complete robot and just reading questions off of a script? How do I do that and make it feel very real? And then I think, there's so much about building the business that even with an MBA, I know how to do that in a corporate setting. So there were all kinds of doubts, all kinds of questions about how do I do this for myself? And being able to sit down and say, okay, let's talk through pricing. Let's talk through your marketing plan. Let's talk through how you set things up so that it can be easy in the future. Being able to pull all of those pieces together, I feel like I got like just a jump start and a massive leap forward in the actual business of everything.
Yes. And part of that is we got to do it one-on-one too. And I think that's
Mhm.
one of the best things. That one of the things I enjoy the most of it too is it is the community, like you were talking about. But then we
Mhm.
get to work on your pricing together. We get to work on
Yeah.
your calendar together as well too. And so it really is the best of both worlds, I feel like,
Mhm.
too. For me as the coach too, because I love that too. I get to the community, but
Yeah.
then I get to know you really well and I get to help get my hands on to
Mhm.
help you in your personally in your business too. So that's been a lot of fun to do that with you. You are committed. I remember when
Yeah.
we put some plans together, you're like, okay, here's my content schedule. And I was like, oh, you might be as good of,
Oh, yeah.
you are really good at content.
Oh, yeah. I love the plan and that planning process, and now I feel like not only can I put together a fantastic plan on paper, but I can actually execute it now. I've been able to shift things and try new things, learn enough that I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's not just going to be, a document that I put together that sits and I'm like, that would have been really great if I had done it. And it's being able to just take the action and take the chances that it's been the best.
Yeah. And now you can take what you learned too, and you can
Mhm.
help coach people with productivity as well too, because you've gone
Yeah.
through, the plan course and you worked on your own productivity and getting focused. And now it's so much
Mhm.
easier you're a few steps ahead of helping other people, being able to coach other people through it as well too. So it's an awesome transition.
Absolutely.
And I love that you said too that you enjoyed the practice coaching sessions, because sometimes I have coaches who come in and you've already been coaching, you had a great brand. I remember like checking you out on Instagram and I was like super excited because you know, we've had some coaches come through like that who already have you know, a business, but just struggling with like the structure and the systems behind it. But I love that you said that you loved practice coaching, because even I had to dive back into practice coaching when I created this program. And even after coaching for 10 years, I wanted to like re-record the sessions for you all. And it is so good to do, even if you've been coaching for a while too, to just go back to the foundation and the script and what your really focus is for that session.
And it was so nice because it wasn't like I had I had a friend who offered to do a practice coaching session with me, and we sat down at the beginning of her phone call and she was like, okay, tell me who I am right now. And I was like, well, you're Jill, because that's who you are. But she went into it fully prepared to create like a character and a backstory. And I was like, no, we're just going to talk about you and your actual career path, what it is that you're doing, where it is that you feel like you need support. And even though for me with the tracking, you know, those were the practice sessions, I don't think I had one where we didn't come up with something that was new, that the person was excited about, that they were going to start like trying and incorporating. So it's practice for us as the coaches, but it's a real coaching session, and you can see a small transformation happen even in those conversations.
Yes, you can. Yeah. And you start to see the impact that you can make and build that confidence too. And then you can show up knowing that you can handle any coaching session that's coming to you. After those 10 sessions, I feel like our coaches are like, bring it on. Like I can coach anything now, because you know, you really do get that practice. From the first one is always a little nerve wracking, but by that 10th one is like where I see that transformation, just like you as well too. So then so tell me, now we've done the 10 practice coaching sessions, we're building the business, we're about to graduate. Tell me about, you know, some of the changes that have been happening, some of your wins that you've had.
A lot of it is being able to very clearly articulate, like, here's how I can support you. Like, you are in the middle of, you know, I have a client that just started last week, and she's been job hunting for 10 months. And in our second session together, we went through all of the recommendations I had for, you know, here are the changes I made to your resume, and here's why I made all of those changes. Here are the things that I think you need to add and do with your LinkedIn profile so that you start to stand out, so that people searching, recruiters, hiring managers, can find you and they can come to you. And as we were talking through it, she just kept getting more and more excited about how everything was going to come together. And she said, she was like, I wish I'd found you months ago. And now I get to be able to say to her, well, as you know other people in your network, send them my way. As you know other people who are going through anything that is, you know, they're, even if they're not job hunting, they want to get that big promotion that's coming up, whatever that looks like. Here are some case studies that I have. Here are some testimonials that I have that I can share about what I've been able to do. Because I can tell you all day long how supportive I can be and how helpful I can be. But when you actually get a chance to hear it from somebody who's been through the process with me, I feel like that's just so much more meaningful.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's why we put a big emphasis on getting you those testimonials as you're going through the program, for sure, and building them, because it's so much easier to sell your coaching when someone else is talking about it as well too.
Absolutely.
And then I love that you are getting people there faster too, because that's ultimately what we're here to do. It's not to sell our you know, product, make bunch of money, but like in 10 months, she's been trying to do something that you were able to help her with so much faster. So we're gonna get people into those jobs a lot faster. That's what we're here to do as well too. So what else? Because I remember you sharing that there was a partnership that you were making with your HR consulting companies as well too. So I know that you've had some wins there too.
I have two fellow entrepreneurs who are building out some of the services that they're able to offer. And neither of them have HR as an expertise. So, what we're able to do, one of them is putting together a membership for small business owners where you get kind of like an advisory board. So, somebody related to marketing, somebody related to finance, and then I get to sit and be part of that as kind of the HR mentor for anybody who is a part of that program. And being able to offer that and just really put together this idea of, it comes up a lot in HR where people will say, "Oh, your people are your most valuable resource." And I feel like that's a really good start, but when you have a resource, you use it. And more often than not, you're using it up. So how do we as small business owners, primarily the folks I'm working with are women, how do we do better? How do we treat our people better and really focus on the human side of HR?
I love that. Yeah. So partnerships that you're definitely
Mhm.
building, your confidence is
Yeah.
growing for sure. And then let's talk about the clarity in your offers too. Cause I remember when you came to one of our sessions with your big spreadsheet of all the things that you were going to
So
sell.
much. Mhm.
How has that gone as far as getting clear on your offers and selling your offers?
I think that has been just such a huge shift because it's looking back now at that spreadsheet that I came to that meeting with, like, I would be so confused if I was just to see that on somebody's website and like just this big list of all the different things. Like it's too much. It's overwhelming. I would go somewhere else. But now I just actually recently went through and updated my website, and it's like, you are here for one of three reasons. You're here for career coaching, you're here for human resources, or you're here because you're also a special needs parent. And depending on which one of those three, then you get to talk to me about what specific support do you need. So really focusing in on not trying to serve all of the people with all of the things and all of the possible combinations, but just, okay, we're going to spend 30 days together and here's what we're going to focus on. Or we're going to spend 90 days together and we're going to do the 30-day things, but here are the other things that we're going to get to talk
Mhm.
about.
Definitely. And I feel like you're able to do more now because you have a better plan for the day
Mhm.
too. You have a better plan for your weeks. You know what's most important. So that's given you the time to think through
Yeah,
your offers and give you the clarity that you need to. And now the kids are back
absolutely.
in school as well. We did have someone just ask, I can't tell who it is, but they asked, what do you do with special needs parents? Or what does your offer look like? This is new.
So
I don't even know this either. So
So this is not an area of the business where I'm, really even charging. But I have a couple of things that I've been able to speak about on some different podcasts geared toward special needs parents. And it really is just like, here's the Trello board that we use to keep everything organized. Would you like a copy of it? Here you go. It's kind of talking through and saying, okay, what are the things that you need to know, like before an IEP meeting? How do you interact with a physician who, it's hard sometimes when you think about like, oh, this person went to med school. And it's like, yeah, they did. So you need them, you need their clinical expertise, but you have like a triple PhD in your kid. So they need you too. And, kind of building that team approach and what that looks like. And just also recommending, here are some places where you can go to get a sense of community, because sometimes, like being an entrepreneur, being a special needs parent can get a little bit lonely. So where do you find the people who get it, who, can let you vent if that's what you need to do, or can give you a, hey, here's what worked for us, here's how this looks, here's how it feels. So just kind of being that sounding board sometimes.
I love that because you have the better plan for the day, better plan for the weeks, feeling more
Mhm.
focused and control of the coaching, career coaching, the HR consulting. Now you can do things that you're really passionate about, like helping and
Yeah.
serving other moms with special needs as well too. So in a way, it will all come together. Like you'll be surprised, there will be some someone who finds you through the special needs and all of a sudden our client, I mean, you just don't know where those future clients are going to be. So when you're just talking about your passion, what's important to you, what you've learned in your life, helping, I just did a video on this, helping one person every day. Like it can be about anything, you know, but you're helping people, you're coaching people no matter what. And that's how you start and how you grow. I love that. Okay. So, the other thing that you said too, is that you almost didn't join certification because you didn't think you could afford it. And you probably were worried about the time as well too. So tell me a little bit about that, that kind of worry and fear from the beginning too, and then how it's kind of played out for you over the last 6 months.
So I think it's one of those things where one of the biggest mindset shifts that I've had around that is really looking at something and saying, okay, is this an expense or is this an investment? And really thinking about what I'm able to do going forward and really saying, okay, by being able to tell people I'm a certified career coach, that gives me the confidence to raise my rates. So all of a sudden that investment is much easier to recruit because it makes more sense. It also has given me just a better marketing plan and what that looks like, and being able to kind of run the numbers to say, okay, here's the investment in the program. Here's what I have to actually do to get that back, to make that make sense. And it's like, once I looked at it, I was like, well, that's doable. I'm probably going to do that anyway. Why not take the time now to level up what it is that I'm offering and the type of support that I can give and the type of authority and credibility that I'm able to bring to those conversations in the future.
Yep. And it continues growing month after month too. You know, as you continue to grow in your business, you can still use, you know, everything that you learned. And now you're going to be an alumni too. So you get to come to our advanced coaching calls too. So we can continuously, you know, be supporting you and helping you continue to grow as well too. So I'm super excited for you to graduate. So tell everyone then where they can find you online and learn more about your coaching, and all of the different services that you provide to people. It looks like this person said that, so you're definitely solving a problem. I'm constantly engaged with teachers and resource providers, but no one to share or bounce ideas off of. So that's awesome. So I love how you're using what we've taught, like in career coaching. Now you're just finding problems. That's the big picture of coaching, right? You're finding problems and you're helping people. So let us know where people can find out more about you.
Some of the best places to find me are Instagram or LinkedIn. If you are on Instagram, I am BCJ Insights. That's actually the formal name of my company, is BCJ Insights. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Brianna Johnson.
Awesome. And we'll make sure that those links are in the comments below as well. So last words of wisdom for someone who maybe they've been a coach, maybe they've been thinking about coaching, but they just need more focus, kind of like you did in the beginning. Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them definitely consider this program, because it's funny when you think about being a coach, and if you're hesitating on getting a coach for yourself, that's going to come through in the conversations that you're having with people. You get to serve people, you get to help them grow, and you need to, at the same time, be serving yourself in the same way. You need to make those opportunities where you get to continue to learn and grow and be the very best coach that you can be. And you need support to do that.
Definitely. Yes. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here, for inspiring others.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to watch you graduate, and then just to continue to see you serving others, helping others, and watch where your business goes after this. So thank you so much, Brie, for being here today. If anyone is interested in certification, we do have doors open right now for applications. So you can go to www.classycareergirl.com/apply to get that application. And then, make sure you watch graduation in October, because Brie, along with the rest of our certified coaches in this cohort, will be graduating in October. So we'll make sure that it'll be on Facebook, and we'll make sure you guys all get an email about that when you're on our email list too, so we can celebrate all of our amazing new coaches, soon to be new coaches. So thanks, Brie, for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye, everyone.